Today we go through this difficult prank level that I made for my sister, and I explain how some of the stuff works in the level editor called Spotlight, so that maybe my sister will be ready to make a level for me soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, so let me show you how the level was made. So here's you, this is where the player starts. See, the object is called player?
Yeah.
So you can just click on it and put it wherever you want. I like using these blocks a lot because they're, oh, I guess I have multiple blocks here, I didn't realize. But anyways, these blocks are called block hard. I think it's a great object to put down. You can put it down wherever you want.
And a shell can defeat this block.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you could use a shell to break these. So these things over here.
Well, I wouldn't say defeat. The rock doesn't really put up much of a fight.
Ha ha ha.
More like destroy.
Yeah, so if you want to put invisible blocks anywhere in your level, you just add this object called block transparent. And see how I have them arranged like this? And I thought, yeah, I'll just put a star way up here. You're not gonna find that. But then you ground pounded and you saw, oh, look at all these. And there's like a pyramid leading up there.
Yeah, but you know, I could have used my camera and found that star, but I like
You could just barely see it.
Oh, so you did that on purpose.
Yeah. This was a hard jump here to make. At first, you got really good at the rolling long jump.
Yeah.
But making it up to the next step was really hard. I actually thought that you would miss this green star first, and you would get this one first.
Oh, and then I would have to
And then you'd realize, wait a minute, where's the missing green star? But let me show you something funny about this. You've learned a little bit of programming, so this might not be a surprise. See over here where it says green star ID? What does it say for the first green star?
0, so that's the first one.
And then what does it say for this one?
It's number 1, so that'll show up as the second one, which is funny.
Yeah, exactly. So in a lot of programming languages, in lists, the first entry in a list starts at 0, actually. Yeah, so this over here is actually just a level object, and let me show you something cool about it. Because normally in this game, you can turn the camera like this, maybe like this. But what if you look at it from behind?
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, isn't it so funny that you can't see it? Because these objects, they actually never created a backside for them. And that's true for a lot of objects. Let me show you another one. And first, I'll show you something cool here too that you could also do when you're making a level. So if you left click on something, that selects it. So that selects this object. We can move it around, right? If you do Control C, that copies it. Control V pastes it. So see, now we have 2 of them.
I use that for text and stuff.
Yeah, so another cool thing that you could do, see how I can move it around in any direction? If you want to move it along a specific axis, you could hold that button. So if I hold X, now it only moves on the X-axis.
That's good.
So that's really good if you want to line up stuff like this. If I hold Z while moving it, it moves on the Z-axis. What do you think happens when I hold Y?
Up and down.
Yeah, when I hold Y, it moves up and down.
That's really convenient tool, so you don't have to really line it up and check all the coordinates.
Yeah, exactly. So let's change the name of this. Let's call it Enter Cat Mario Step A. What do you think that's gonna be?
He's going to enter here now. Oh!
Does that look familiar?
That's the first world.
Yeah, it's the first level of the game. It's just the object. It doesn't have the clear pipe over here and the Goombas and the blocks and everything. This is just the object for the first level.
Yeah.
So a lot of object levels are called something Step A. So do you think there's an Enter Cat Mario Step B?
That's gonna be the second part of that level, or is it gonna be the second level? I'm not sure.
Yeah, good guess. It could be either, but Enter Cat Mario Step B. Let's hit enter, and look what it is.
Oh yeah, it's the second part.
Yeah,
right?
the second part of the level. That's right. You remember that?
Kind of. Yeah, there's like a bridge.
Yeah, there's a clear pipe that goes down to here, and then you go across there, and then the goal pole ends up being, hold on, let me get rid of this sky. The goal pole's normally over there, remember?
Yeah, that's so cool how you can just edit it and create these cool levels. I want to make a level for you to complete. And you know what? The level you made here kind of reminds me of some sort of cake or something.
Haha. Remember when I showed you the back of this level, what it looked like? What do you think will happen when we go over here and look at the back of it?
Maybe there will be a wall.
Let's look. Let's go back here, and let's see the secret sauce now.
See, there is there's semi-wall.
Yeah, this over here, it kind of has it.
Yeah.
But this one over here doesn't, because the camera can't normally see back here.
Yeah.
Because when you're playing from this perspective, like this, you can't turn the camera to see behind the level like that, so they just don't render that. They never made that as part of the object.
Yeah.
Okay, well, anyways, I just wanted to show you that that's how you could use the objects that make up levels. That's something that you could do. I thought that was pretty cool.
Very cool. Also, I have a question. Where were you making those bullies run towards? Were you making them run towards the gray blocks at the beginning?
That's a really good question. So different enemies have different default behaviors. So things like piranha plants, they obviously just stay still. They don't move. Things like Goombas, do you know what Goombas are called in the game?
Karibo. Oh, Karibo!
Yeah, so over here's a Karibo. We could add a giant Goomba right here if we want to. So Goombas will basically just start running towards you wherever you are. We can turn him into a pancake also.
Can you put it on top of the tree?
Well, he'll just fall off.
Oh.
So these guys, Goombas, Koopas, this guy, a Charge and Chuck, they'll just start running towards you. That's what they do when you're close enough to them.
I have a great idea for a level. There's going to be only walls, no floors, and trees.
That's actually a good idea. So let me show you something cool about trees because maybe you could use this. So we could add an object called tree, which is really easy to remember because it's just tree. So you could just add a tree here, right?
Yeah.
Now here's another thing that you can do. If you want to add lots of trees, you go here. Here, let me show you this first. You hit Shift A, and that lets you add an object. Then over here in the search box, you just type what you want. So you pick tree, click on tree, and then pick select. Now, wherever you click, you're going to add a tree. But look, here's something cool. If you hold Shift and you click, you could keep adding trees. So if you want to add lots of trees, otherwise, if you click, then you'll just highlight whatever you click on, and you'll have to go tree, add. I want to add a tree here. Then you go again, tree, add. I want to go here. But if you just hold shift, then you could add lots of trees like that and it's faster.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of Sims, but instead of making a level, you just design homes, essentially.
Yeah, and you want to play Sims, guys. Comment if you want to see my sister play Sims.
Yeah, you know, it'd be cool to make amazing Sims.
Haha. Okay, so let me show you something cool about the trees here. So, when you just put down a tree by default, it's this kind. But look, you could go over here to model name, and there are different kind of trees. We could go tree long A. Do you think there's a tree long B?
Tree long B, maybe.
Yeah, if there's tree long A, then there's probably tree long B. Look at that, an even longer one.
Oh, wow.
And then look, there's probably also tree long C. If you do tree long C, look, it's a little short tree like that. So yeah, you could have all kinds of different objects. And it's funny, this thing here, see over here?
That's just like mint or something.
Grass, right?
Oh, okay.
So look, if we go to model name, there are actually different kinds. You could also do bush.
Oh, cool, and you can switch it. Bush furry.
Yeah, bush furry. A lot of things that end in furry are actually the Bowser's Fury version. Oh, but that isn't a... Whoops, it crashed.
Aw.
Oh wait, no, it did show up. There we go. It just took a second to load. There we go. Yeah, so that's the Bowser's Fury version.
So the POW block death area, how big's the death area?
Really small, see?
Huh.
Oh, and you know what's funny? I can explain this to you because this is something that you wouldn't know from just playing the level. Do you know how this green star spawns?
When I click the POW block.
Yeah, but do you know why?
Because there's an if-then scenario in programming.
Yeah, there's basically something like that,
if
but let me show you.
If all those blocks get destroyed, then the star appears.
Nope. Look what's back here.
What? Who is he?
There's a Goomba here, and his name is Wilson.
Oh my god.
So there's actually an invisible wall right here that stops him from walking into the death area so he doesn't die.
And when he dies, that's how it spawns the star.
Yeah, exactly. So look, this object right here, see this blue box? This is called an all-dead watcher. So I created a link between this and the Goomba, and it is called Watch Target Enemy.
Well, it should be called Watch Target Wilson.
Ha 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 ha. No, it has to be called Watch Target Enemy.
He's not an enemy. Goombas are friends.
Ha ha. So there's also a link from the All Dead Watcher to something called a stage switch. So this gets activated when that Goomba is dead, and this stage switch gets activated. See over here, it says switch dead on.
Yeah.
And then the stage switch is connected to this green star, and look what it says here.
Switch appear. So
that's what makes the green star appear.
Very cool.
Yeah, and let me show you another funny thing. See how over here there's the Koopa shell over here?
Yeah.
Originally, when I was making this level, I actually put something else here. I put a Noko Noko. Do you know what a Noko Noko is?
Mushroom?
Nope. I'll click it now and you'll get to see.
Koopa. Yeah, that's a Noko.
Yeah, Noko Noko is Koopa, but you know what's funny? I placed the Koopa down right here where the shell is, but you know what's funny? When I played through the level and I got here, you know what was here?
He was gone.
It was just a coin because he died. He walked into these spikes. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna put down a Koopa shell and hopefully that works. And it did work, but you know what the name for Koopa shell is?
Ko.
Nope. Kura, or Kora.
That means chicken.
Yeah, isn't that so funny? Yeah, but I think that is because of, in Japanese, there's probably a way to say something that is like shell or turtle shell in Japanese that's like kura. But anyways, I was actually planning on you having to use the Koopa shell over here to break the POW block that's here.
Yeah, but I couldn't aim at it correctly.
No, you could, But when the Koopa shell hits the death area, it breaks.
Oh.
So then I thought, okay, I'll just use the Koopa shell to break these blocks. I'll put some blocks here so you can't go up this way. I hit a super bell inside there. And yeah, this pipe over here, if you go down this pipe, it actually brings you in there, and that pipe disappears, so you're trapped in there if you go in there.
Yeah. And what are the spikes called? And these army guys?
Oh, good question. These spikes are called needle seed. So if you want to add some more spiky objects somewhere, that's really easy. Oh, these things? This is called needle roller. Needle roller free move. Hold on. I don't know if that's what I called it. I just looked up needle. Oh yeah, and then I add needle roller. Yeah, so you can put this down, but it's funny. Look at that. It just shows up as a box, right? So you go to model name and you pick what kind you want, because there are different sizes of them, because in some parts of the game, they have the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Right? In some parts of the game, they have the longer ones. And you know what's funny? When I was making this maze part, originally, I closed off just this area. And over here on this side, I didn't have these two here. So you were able to just jump around and go up if you were sneaky. But then I tried this, and I was able to climb up on the first try. So I thought, you know what? I don't think that it's too difficult, so I'm just going to leave it like that.
Yeah, I like going through the center more. It's not a cheap way to do. And that bird is so funny because in the previous custom level you made, the bird killed me when I got near it, remember?
Yeah, so that's something that's been kind of a running joke on my channel now. We add giant birds. Usually when there's something that's going to trap you, there's a giant bird nearby. I was so surprised when you swiped at this guy and defeated this guy.
Yeah, I was just mashing B to kill it, and I'm glad I didn't jump into there by accident.
Yeah, it's good you didn't jump into this and you actually managed to get this. Do you remember what this item's called?
Stamp.
Do you remember what it's called in the game's file if you want to add one?
Stampushek.
No, it's called an Alust item.
Oh, nice.
And toads, just to let you know in case you want to add some toads, are called Kinopio.
Such a nice name. It'd be nice to go to Japan.
Yeah, so this is called Kinopio NPC. So if you want to make him really wide, hold X and click the middle mouse button. Whoops, hold X and then drag as you click the middle mouse button.
Perfect.
Then you can make him as wide as you want.
Whew.
Let's keep going. Oh, and you can also type in values here. So if you wanted to be 100 times as wide as normal.
Wow.
There
Look
we
how
go.
wide he is, and how tall can you make him? Let's make him really tall now.
How tall?
500.
500?
Oh, just his legs.
Yeah, look at that.
His head is stuck in the sky.
Yeah.
Look at his little mouth smiling.
Yeah, there he is. Look at him.
It's a big toad.
Yeah, but it's funny because it looks, I almost said it looks kind of normal. Not that this is normal at all, but this looks kind of normal in the level editor, but when you actually load it up in the game, it could look pretty messed up. Oh, these things. So did you notice how these were all shooting at different times?
Yeah, trying to make it difficult, but it wasn't hard. I never died here.
Yeah, this was a super easy section. I didn't want this to look empty, so I just added something here. And yeah, you ended up going into this warp box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so over here, this is called Teresa Fake Dokkan. So do you know what a Dokkan is?
A box.
Nope. Dokkan is this. Let me show you.
A leaf.
Nope.
A pipe.
Yeah, so do you remember what was here?
It was a fake pipe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's Teresa Fake Dokkan. Do you know what Teresa is in this game?
Fake.
Nope. Fake means fake. What happened to this pipe when you tried to go down
Oh,
it?
it disappears.
Yeah, does something appear in its place for a moment?
White dust.
Was it something like this?
What? I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, a bunch of boos came out, remember?
Oh yeah, its tongue is coming out of its chin.
Yeah, it's funny. It's showing both of the models that it could be right now. Yeah, so there are different kinds of Teresas. There's Teresa and there's Teresa Big, because remember there are some of the big ghosts also.
Yeah.
Yeah, and look at the invisible walls around here. See, you couldn't get in.
Yeah.
But over here at the back, maybe you could have jumped in. I don't know if you can get that high. That's why when you were jumping around this gold pole, I was getting nervous. I'm thinking, uh-oh, I hope the invisible walls work, and I hope you don't accidentally get to the end without exploring this other stuff. But that's kind of funny that you tried both of those things.
Could I jump down to that island if I tried, or would I die before I get there?
No, so this here, this green thing in the background actually has no collision. This is just decoration in the background. And in so many games, they have things like this that are just background decorations, and in this game too. But what's funny is I've played through this game, Super Mario 3D World, with some exploration mods that I've made, using things like really high jump or zero gravity or allowing Peach to float forever. And what happens is in some levels, you actually can land on things like that. But in this level, I believe you just fall through it because it has no collision.
Wow.
So it looks like you learned a lot today, and maybe soon you're going to be able to make me a level. Are you excited for that?
Yes, I am. That was so much fun. Thanks for letting me play your custom level.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
I also made a video where there are 100 mystery doors, but only one will let Yoshi escape. You might like that video if you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day ahead of you, and take care, everybody.